Welcome to the Prophecy Club. They are tracking us, monitoring us, because they want to keep us secure. They want to increase our security, right? Or could there be another reason? Could it be that they know that the time is going to come? Now, it may be that the lower people don't, but at least the people at the top of the ladder know that the time is going to come when they're going to be able to track and monitor, and they want to find all of the people that do not have the mark of the beast. So, David, welcome back to the Prophecy Club.
Thanks, Dan. Related article, Stan, from Fox News. Connecticut police to test pandemic drone that monitors health of residents. The article states that police in Westport, Connecticut, say they will be testing a pandemic drone that can scan body temperatures of residents to determine if they have fevers or other health symptoms in an effort to combat the coronavirus. Aerospace company Dragonfly announced in a news conference that drones will be equipped with a specialized sensor and computer vision systems that can display heart and respiratory rates. They can also detect people coughing in crowds, police said. Note, it is a federal offense to harm a drone, and they are considered an aircraft by the FCC. One of the major problems for cities and towns like Westport in managing and responding to a pandemic like COVID-19 virus is finding out who could be infected and how widespread the disease has spread, said Westport First Selectman Jim Marp. One way to do this is to look for underlying symptoms. Police said the goal of the program is to provide better health monitoring support for potential at-risk groups, including the elderly or those with pre-existing health conditions. Police also plan to monitor how residents are social distancing in public areas where groups may be congregating, including beaches, train stations, parks, and shopping centers. The technology can detect certain infectious conditions from 190 feet away, the release added. Police in Westport, Connecticut will be testing a pandemic drone that can scan the body temperatures of residents to determine if they have fevers or other health symptoms in an effort to fight the coronavirus, according to a report on Tuesday.
Well, what do you think, David? Do you think that they are just that concerned about our health to go out and buy drones and spend time searching over crowds to make certain that everyone is safe?
This is being used as an excuse for a lot of other things that they're trying to do.
Correct. Such as?
When they talk about monitoring people for social distancing, right, and underlying symptoms, well, what is an underlying symptom, not just now, but in the future?
Notice that the aerospace company's name is Dragonfly. Well, so what's wrong with the dragon? And there appeared another wonder in heaven, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns. That's the devil. So that company, though it may be a good company, I'm suspect when they put that word in their very name. Again, it may be a good company. I'm not speaking against the company, but I think they ought to choose a different name. Also, when it says a pandemic drone, I don't think the police have the time or the money and pay people to sit and watch these drones to just make certain that no one has COVID, no one is coughing, and everyone is doing social distancing. Okay, so what's the real point here? The real point is, one of these days, that drone is going to be scanning, and it's going to be looking that everyone has the mark of the beast. And if they don't have that mark, then they round them up, and they make them take the mark or lose their head. David, back to you.
I think just the idea for drones being in the skies is brand new for people. So that in and of itself is a huge change, and the virus is being used as a reason for it. And a Newsweek article states, as Washington, D.C. faces a New York-level spike in coronavirus cases, a secret military task force has deployed to secure the U.S. Capitol. The Newsweek article states 3 military sources familiar with NORTHCOM planning say the Joint Task Force is currently operating under multiple contingency plans, from specific pandemic response operations through White House directive continuity plans. The highest level plan, the one written for Homeland Defense, exists in case of an armed attack upon the United States or other extraordinary circumstances. In quotes, as immediately required to save lives, prevent human suffering or mitigate great property damage, that's the language that endows the Joint Task Force commander to have to act, even if he's not formally directed to do so. Anyone who states otherwise is playing with the truth, unquote. In other words, the Joint Task Force supports and prepares for the worst, even taking unilateral action to carry out its orders. It has a task force of over 10,000. They are doing everything from watching Washington's airspace to standing by for emergency bomb disposal to staying ready to carry out law enforcement duties should there be a greater catastrophe and need for military intervention.
As you put both of those articles together, one is saying that they're going to be scanning us with drones to make certain that we don't have fever, that we aren't coughing, and doing social distancing. And if you really believe that, I've got coastline property in Kansas to sell you. Surely there's something more, and yes, there is. So then the next article says that they have activated a secret, heavy on the word secret, a secret military task force that is normally used to secure the U.S. Capitol. What's going on? Well, let's compare that again to the prophecies. The prophecies say that there's going to be riots, there's going to be people looting and burning, probably blood in the streets. Several of them have said that. So why would they be activating these drones? Why would they be activating these people that are going to, or the military that's going to be protecting the White House? Obviously, they suspect that something big and bad is about to happen, and it's going to be that people are angry at the government. I mean, why else would they call out this protection for specifically the U.S. Capitol, specifically Washington, D.C., and it seemed like someplace in there it even said White House. Why would they call it out? Well, let's see. There's 163,469 sealed indictments, and that is a fact. Several people, and I have received, I'm going to say, at least 4 different videos. In other words, where you turn on your smartphone and you're just doing a video, and this is someone that comes on and say, hey, man, like I'm not exactly a news source, but I mean, like one guy said, hey, I know people high up in positions in Hollywood, and a lot of them that are involved in pedophilia are being arrested, and I do not know why the news is not coming out with this. This is some things he said. I've received several of those kind of like home movies, but I've received probably 6 that have sent me to YouTubes, and they're talking about, I can't even talk about it on the radio. How can I say this? Okay, several of the videos, not just one, but several of them, is talking about how part of the roundup is these underground, I don't even know what, I don't even want to say the words. I don't want to say the words, but I'll say it this way. How can I say it without saying it? Because I know that there's filters, and I don't want to lose the ability to speak to you through this system. I can't use the word. You know what I'm talking about. But there's these underground caverns, I'll say it that way. And reportedly, the military has been going down in there, and they have been getting into firefights, and it's so bad I can't even say. I was trying to tell Leslie last night, and she looked at me like, are you serious? And I said, yes, and it's not just 1 or 2. There's been many reports from many different places about what they're finding down there. And no, it's not high-tech stuff. It is filth. It is ball. It is Moloch, child sacrifice, sex trafficking. It's beyond sex with children. It is torment, torture. Maybe how can I tell you without saying anything? The reports are that and I'm not going to say the word. How do I say this? The reports are that the people having to do with the military that are going down in there, one report was 600 of them came back out. The stink was so bad, they were throwing up, and some of them were worse. I'll just say it that way. It was worse. And they had to go get more. They took a total of some 2,000 military combat units. I guess that's the way you got to say it. Because the words I would normally say I'm trying to avoid, okay? I'm not stumbling because I don't know what's going on. I'm stumbling because I want to get past the filters. They are finding demons and filth and demons that I don't even think, even though I hear it, it's hard to believe. Even though I see some of the little clips, I have to say, this has surprised me. I did not think that there was such evil in the world. And they say that this is all going to come out. Now, I don't believe all of that's going to come out, but what I'm saying is, brothers and sisters, I don't think we're in the tribulation, but I do think we're real close. Somebody asked me the other day, do you think our world is going to return? No. No, I don't think the world we had 2 months ago is ever going to come back. I think at best we can hope it doesn't get too much worse. I do think it'll improve a little, but when the truth, and again, I'm not stumbling because I don't know what to say. I'm stumbling because I can't say it in words as if you and I had a cup of coffee and we were sitting across the coffee table and we were just talking. I can't use those kind of words, or I know they'll pull the broadcast. I know they will. I know they will. I can't use those kind of words. I can't begin to describe to you. So when this all comes out, we're talking about filth and corruption. And I'm not talking about politicians that aren't voting right. I'm talking about people that worship Baal and Moloch, the cow gods, child sacrifice, filth, torture. I can't even say it. I cannot say it. You know, I get information from a lot of different sources. I have to filter through that information. So when I get the same thing coming from multiple sources saying, and some of them even provided little corner clips, you know, they couldn't show anything directly, but enough to make me almost sick to my stomach. So I certainly can't talk about it on the radio. But what I am saying is that Trump is doing the right thing. He is cleaning up not just the trash can, but he's gone all the way to the bottom of the trash can, and he's had to chip out all of the filth. And they say that this is all going to come out, and they're going to explain this all to the world. So there's a reason. There's a reason that the military units have been called up. 1 million reservists have been called up, retired people. I guess retired is not the same as reservists. These were retired people, retired military people, 1 million of them. Trump openly said that in one of his press conferences. Also, in yesterday's broadcast, David read about how they're talking about possibly starting the draft again. They're getting ready to start the draft. What in the world is going on? Maybe an internal revolution? They've called all of these people to Cheyenne Mountain, and they say it's for coronavirus. It's not for coronavirus. Something big and something really, really, really big and bad is about to hit. And I'm going to guess it probably has something to do with this roundup. So I don't even want to say the other word. This roundup. I'm saying, brothers and sisters, if America can make it through 2020 and we have not been hit with a series of explosions, if we have not been hit with a massive earthquake opening up the Great Lakes all the way down to Gulf of Mexico or something in that category, we have done very, very, very good. I'm not convinced we're going to make it that far. I told Leslie this morning, she says, when do you think this is all going to happen? And I pointed to my map and I said, I think it's going to happen here or here, but at the latest here. She says, you're not saying that. I said, I'm talking to my wife. I'm telling you, but I can't say that on the radio. She said, well, don't tell people that. Don't say that on the radio. I said, well, I won't, because I know what would happen. People would get really scared. What I am trying to say is there's some real big bad things right on the horizon. If Trump can clean it up, he might be able to give us some more time. I'm going to say right now in the natural, President Trump is our best hope for a nation to continue. Our best hope, David.
Well, when a snake is trapped, they're very dangerous, that's for sure. Stan, quick question for you. If the government is enacting continuity plans, do you think that people should be enacting some type of personal continuity plans for what could potentially be coming.
Oh boy, man. Okay. How do I? You just asked the right question. You grabbed my heart, and you just did. You see what I was doing last night?
No.
I got a video from, and it was Terry Bennett talking, and it was only about 20 minutes long, but I have to say some of the things in this video shook me. It shook me. It shook me so much that, and please, I'm not suggesting you do this, but it shook me. This morning I bought 600 more rounds of ammunition. That's how much it shook me. And I'm not a violent person. I'm not. I'm. David will tell you I'm not a violent person, but this shook me. And this is from a prophet. This is not some kind of inside information, some envelope slipped under a door. I've never had that happen. All of what I say comes from the Bible or from God's prophets. But this shook me. And because I know that Terry Bennett hears from the Lord. When he said, and I'm going to try to put this on the air, by the way, in the next few days. So something, there's so many things on the horizon that could happen. I don't know what to tell you. I can't tell you. We could be looking at an earthquake. We could be looking at a series of explosions. We could be looking at riots in the streets. If they don't get those checks out on time, remember Terry Bennett said that when the checks from the government stop coming, the chaos ensues. Well, what is happening right now? We are already getting people protesting, hey, I have not got my checks. My neighbor got my check. I haven't got my check. We're a little company right here. We need our check. We need our check. I haven't got my check. We're hearing that on the news right now. I'm saying a lot of the things that Prophecy Club has been speaking of and warning you. And by the way, it's not Prophecy Club. It's God and his prophets, okay, to give credit where credit's due. They've been telling us, brothers and sisters, we cannot say we were not warned. So back to your question. I'm shaken. I'm not shaking. I'm saying I'm shaken. I'm saying that I'm awake. I am not fearful for myself or for my family or even for our listeners, but I am fearful for my nation. I think just over the horizon, just around the corner, I can't set a date. I can't put a finger on it. I just know by the Spirit. I know by all of the things that have come into me from all these different sources. When you see, let me read it again. This comes from Newsweek. Okay, this comes from the deep state. When the deep state is saying a secret military task force has been deployed to secure the U.S. Capitol. I didn't write that. Newsweek, dated 4/17/2020, Newsweek magazine wrote that. When they openly say a secret military task force has deployed to the U.S. Capitol to secure it, quote, the highest level plan, unquote, something big and bad. When they're calling the military units to go down into NORAD. Okay, this is a rock mountain, this marble mountain that they've got caved out. They keep saying, and I've seen this video come to me several times, it can take a nuclear bomb. Okay, when they're calling our military down in, and the guy said this morning on the little clip that I watched, he said, and we're on 30-day rotations. He explained how our military is set for war. Now, I know some people saying, oh, yeah, we're going to go to war with China. I'm going to say it again. We are not going to war with China. China is not the problem. And I do not think it is anywhere close to time for Russia to attack. We have got the signs, 7 signs from Leslie. We got the big sign from Dmitry. It'll start with an internal revolution. Also, armor ushers in Palestinian state. It's not about Russia. It's not about Cuba. And I don't think it's about Iran. But it could be those series of explosions. It could be riots in the street. Now, right now, in the natural, I'd have to say riots in the street. But when a man of God is shaken and buys 600 more round, I'm not suggesting you do it. More, matter of fact, I got the ammunition in my hand right now. This is the kind I ordered. when I ordered 600 more rounds, because I think that a person should have at least 1,000 rounds for whatever thing they're going to use. I'm trying to catch my words, and I'm not suggesting anyone be anything hurtful to anyone. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to hurt, and I certainly don't want to see my family get hurt. So that's, I can't believe a man of God. It's reached the point where a man of God has had his wife, not once, not twice, but 3 times, the Lord spoke to her. I told you this story. Here, I'll tell it again. So I don't know, it was probably 2 years ago now. Leslie woke up and she said, the Lord spoke to me last night. Well, when she says that, which is not very often, I sat up, bend my ears forward, and I listened. And she says, he told us that we need to go get our license to carry. I said, really? I said, come to that yet? And so I'm sorry to say I should have listened. I should have gone and got it right then. I should have been obedient, but I didn't. I forgot. And I mean, a minister is just like not in that circle. We don't think like that. We think about winning souls all the time. 30 days later, she gets up and she says, I had another word last night. The Lord told me again that you and I need to go get our license to carry. I thought, oh man, that's right. I was supposed to do that. All right. I'll go do it. Well, about 30 days later, I still hadn't done it. I'm sorry. Again, I repent. I should have done it. 30 days later, by the way, this might be a hint to you. So anyway, 30 days later, she gets up and I turned to her and I said, the Lord spoke to you something last night. And I said, now don't hold it back. Tell me what he said. And she looked at me and she said, like I said. Well, she didn't have to say anything else. So we went and got our license to carry. And bless her heart, little 5 foot, I guess she's 5 foot. Yeah. Thinking back. Yeah, it was 5 foot, little 5 foot, little bitty Leslie. And she qualified with this big old 45. And it was jamming on her, but by golly, she qualified. But it's not, it's not what ministers do. But brothers and sisters, I'm saying I've got enough information. If I can put this stuff here from Terry Bennett on there, I think it'll shake you. It shook me. I mean, just one phrase he said, it shook me. And so I'm pretty convinced it's not long before there's real trouble hitting. Speaking of that, let me tell you something we just did just yesterday. If I can find here it is. I have to dig for the phone number yet. First time I've talked about this. Okay, so Prophecy Club has got a sponsor. We haven't had a sponsor in a long time. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. We talked for probably a couple of hours. This guy's a prophecy student. His heart is to tell everybody that the end times is coming. And he also has a rather large company that offers precious metals, primarily silver. And I told him, I said, well, that Shane Warren has said that the audible voice of God spoke to him that had said that silver is going to rise far more than gold. And so anyway, we've hooked up with them. And so if you're looking to get precious metals, and of course, that's obviously a very good thing to do. Anyway, his number is 888-747-3309. First time I've ever given that number on the air. 888-747-3309 if you'd like to phone call with questions, or go to Cornerstone Asset Metals. Cornerstone, you remember Jesus is the chief cornerstone. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. And when you call or when you go online and just mention Prophecy Club and we get a little squeeze of that, he's helping us. He wants, now listen to this, he wants to help us to get up on TV. With these 3 TV programs, oh man, he lit up like a Christmas tree. When I told him we were in the process of trying to get ready to make these 3 TV programs, he said, that's what I want to do. So that's what I want to do. So I want to tell people. And by the way, he's a King James only guy, prophecy student. So, I mean, there's lots of folks out there selling metal. I don't know anybody that's a prophecy student that is trying. I mean, I can't tell you how many times the conversation, he said, I want to help ministries. But the ministries I want to help are the ones that are dealing with what you do, with Bible prophecy. He said, I'm a prophecy student. I want to help. Okay. but we need the help. So if you're thinking about precious metals, and that's very good. And also, I need to tell you, man, part of what, boy, I'm way off subject today. Part of what Terry Bennett said in the video I watched last night, contaminated food. Contaminated food. And I thought, oh, of course, if a bunch of suitcase nukes go off all across America, our food would be contaminated. All across all of our food would be contaminated. And all of a sudden I thought, okay, I guess I don't have enough freeze-dried food yet. I don't have enough long-term storage food yet. And you've already heard me talk about that we have more than ample evidence to say that there's about to be a shortage of meat. And matter of fact, that's another thing he said. There will be a shortage of food in America. And I'm not talking about just high prices. So I'm talking about whether you're able to get the food at any price. He said that's coming. And again, he shook me. So if you're looking at getting some kind of long-term storage food, you want to go to heavensharvest.com. See, the promo code is STAN. Promo code is STAN. So that's heavensharvest.com. They have all sorts of things, everything from, I think it's flashlights, water filters, all sorts of things. heavensharvest.com. But the main thing you want to do is make certain you have food enough for each person for at least a year. At least a year. And they also have a phone number if you have questions. So if you want to get precious metals, then you want to go to cornerstoneassetmetals.com. cornerstoneassetmetals.com, or you can call them at 888-747-3309. Mention Prophecy Club. You want long-term storage food, heavensharvest.com, heavensharvest.com. And, of course, my books. As a matter of fact, here's another thing, another surprise I'm not prepared for this morning. Leslie's books just arrived. Her new book called What It Takes to Be a Prophet. And we're asking a donation of $20 for that. And I understand that that is now on the website. What It Takes to Be a Prophet. And, of course, I recommend you get The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. Essentially, it allows you to put the prophecies of Revelation in correct chronological order for the first time probably in history. And the next thing is Miss the Mark. It will help you to be able to understand how the mark of the beast is coming yourself so you will not take it. And then it gives you a copy of a book to hand around to other people. Now, Secret Door is offered in shrink wrap sets of 5. 1 for $20, but don't do that. 5 for $30, 10 for $55. Miss the Mark is offered in shrink wrap sets of 10. 1 for $20, or 10 for $30, 20 for $40, 5, and 40 for $70. That's all at prophecyclub.com. And then the final thing, you should go to sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com, sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com, where we're going to train you how to teach Bible prophecy to give an answer in these troubled times ahead, how to walk in sevenfold miracles. Also, we're going to be using you to call on you when it comes time for us to go to the sports stadiums, when this great miracle revival that has a high probability of hitting this year. Well, we've covered a lot of things, so remember us in your prayers, brothers and sisters. Emergency food is almost sold out everywhere. However, because of our relationship with heavensharvest.com, they have made an entire truckload available to Prophecy Club in a few weeks, where others are totally out or waiting for months. They have all sorts of emergency supplies and food at heavensharvest.com. Their food comes in square stackable buckets, breakfast, entree, protein, fruits and vegetables. heavensharvest.com makes it easy to order. I recommend you have at least 12 months of food for each person in your family. Receive a free box of heirloom seeds when you enter the promo code STAN. That's heavensharvest.com, promo code STAN. heavensharvest.com, promo code STAN. You can now watch 160 Prophecy Club recordings without interruption. Watch prophecyclub.com.